If you think the drama at the Korhan mansion is cooling down, you are sadly mistaken. Things are about to get hectic, and I mean proper hectic. We are talking kidnappings, secret affairs being exposed, and a kiss that could shatter everything. Before we dive in, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat, and please let those adverts play for at least 30 seconds. It really helps the channel. Now, let's get into the good stuff. Monday, 2nd March 2026, episode 38 kicks off with Ferit in everyone's face. Especially Ferit and Seyran's pushing them to get their act together as the bank is breathing down their necks about the foreclosure. As if that isn't enough stress, chaos erupts when Kazim is snatched right off the street by some lowlifes demanding a hefty ransom for his safe return. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Betul's carefully constructed world starts to crumble when her sneaky little secret with Tayfun is finally exposed for all to see. On Tuesday, 3rd March 2026, episode 39, it's all hands on deck as Abedin and Ferit team up, using every trick in the book to track down Kazim and rescue him from the clutches of that Scully Sevki. It's a tense rescue mission that actually pays off. Just when Betul thinks she can breathe, she gets the shock of her life discovering that Tayfun has been hired as the mansion's new driver. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Amidst all this, Ferit and Seyran finally carve out some time for themselves and go on their very first proper date, but of course, Esme is lurking in the shadows, trying her level best to drive a wedge between them. Wednesday, 4th March 2026, episode 40 brings a surprising turn when Halis officially welcomes Abedin into the family fold, accepting him as one of their own. But Ferit can't let a happy moment pass without stirring the pot, and she drops a bombshell that leaves everyone reeling. On the business front, Ferit and Seyran manage to pull it together and impress a room full of investors, with Ferit proudly announcing Abedin as Halis Korhan's nephew. But the day takes a dark turn when Gulgun is violently attacked in the street, leaving her shaken and the family scrambling for answers. Thursday, 5th March 2026, episode 41 sees Seyran's divorce from Sinan finally being finalized, giving her a clean slate. Kazim, ever the opportunist, makes a big show of vowing to save the family business from ruin, but the drama is brewing elsewhere. Betul, in a shocking move, secretly pays for the thugs who attacked Gulgun, and when Orhan tries to be supportive and comfort his wife, it only makes Betul angrier. Meanwhile, Suna is nervously taking a pregnancy test, hoping for good news, while Ferit is quietly battling crippling anxiety as the family's debts continue to pile up. Friday, 6th March 2026, episode 42 finds a kind-hearted Orhan trying his best to comfort Gulgun in the aftermath of her terrifying robbery, offering a shoulder to cry on. For Suna, the news isn't what she hoped for, and she's absolutely crushed by a negative pregnancy test. On a more positive note, Esme and Gulgun decide to channel their energy into something new and open a restaurant together. With the financial noose tightening, Ferit, Kazim and Abedin are forced to seek help from a mysterious figure known only as the Great Lady, hoping she can save them from bankruptcy. Monday, 9th March 2026. Episode 43 is a game changer. Ferit, desperate to secure the funding they need, secretly mortgages the Korhan mansion without telling anyone, but his secretive behavior immediately raises Seyran's suspicions. As if that's not enough, Suna receives some shocking health news that turns her world upside down. Seyran, sensing something is deeply wrong, confronts Halis directly, demanding answers about the family's finances. But before any answers can be given, the room freezes as Ferit suddenly collapses, sending everyone into a panic. On Tuesday, 10th March 2026, episode 44, Ferit's collapse is confirmed to be from sheer stress as the weight of the world finally gets to him. Meanwhile, Betul's messy fight with Tayfun causes more chaos in the household. Even while recovering, Ferit is stubbornly pushing forward with his plan to mortgage the mansion, convinced it's the only way. Suna, carrying the weight of her own devastating news, learns something even more heartbreaking about Seyran's situation. And to top it all off, Esme and Kazim are at each other's throats again, this time fighting over the running of their new restaurant. Wednesday, 11th March 2026, episode 45 sees Ferit working his charm and convincing a conflicted Suna to agree to the mansion mortgage, making her his secret co-conspirator. In a moment of pride, Halis awards Ferit the family's most prestigious Aga ring, a decision that doesn't sit well with Orhan at all, who feels overlooked. Meanwhile, Betul's intricate web of lies begins to fray at the edges as Ferit and Abidin corner Tayfun, determined to get the truth out of him about what's really been going on. Thursday, 12th March 2026, episode 46, Suna and Ferit go through with it, completing the mansion's mortgage right under the great lady's watchful eye, sealing a deal with the devil they don't fully understand yet. At the new restaurant, Esme and Gulgun are already facing money troubles, all thanks to Kazim's shady financial schemes. Orhan, ever the detective, finally uncovers the full extent of Betul's lies, but instead of exposing her, he makes the devastating decision to keep quiet to protect his own bruised honor. Friday, 13th March 2026, episode 47, and things are getting properly messy. Orhan digs himself deeper by lying outright about Betul's pregnancy to save face, just as chaos erupts over a batch of fake stones in the family business. Seyran's world is rocked when she discovers that Suna has been hiding the truth about the secret mortgage all along. And just when you think it can't get worse, the great lady drops the mother of all bombshells. She reveals that she is Abidin's mother and exposes the entire mortgage scheme to the family. Monday, 16th March 2026, episode 48. Ferit is on the warpath and confronts Isaac about the fake stones that are causing so much trouble. Seyran, desperate for a family of her own, starts secretly considering a risky fertility treatment that could have serious consequences. Abidin, now knowing the truth, clashes violently with both Ferit and Suna over their secret deal. Meanwhile, the great lady uses her newfound connection to try and sway Kazim to her side, playing a dangerous game of family politics. Tuesday, 17th March 2026, Episode 49. Ferit and Abedin put aside their differences and head into a dodgy neighborhood to confront the dangerous Nasi, but the situation quickly spirals out of control. It's Seyran who unexpectedly comes to their rescue, saving them from a serious beating. Back home, Suna clashes with Abedin when he confronts her about keeping the mortgage a secret, their marriage fracturing a little more. Through it all, Seyran quietly continues to consider the risky fertility treatment, telling no one of her plans. On Wednesday, 18th March 2026, Episode 50, Ferit sets up a tense meeting with Nasi, hoping to recover the stolen stones, but walks right into a trap. Nasi and his men turn on him, launching a vicious attack that leaves Ferit fighting for his life. Just when it looks hopeless, Halis sends in his own men to rescue his grandson. With her mind made up, Seyran begins her risky fertility treatment, fully aware of the dangers but determined to have a child. Thursday, 19th March 2026, Episode 51. Ferit has no choice but to come clean and reveal to everyone that he mortgaged the mansion with Suna's secret help. Halis is absolutely furious, his anger burning so hot that he banishes Ferit from the house, telling him he's no longer welcome. Suna faces the full force of the family's backlash, but it's Seyran who steps up, taking charge of the crisis and trying to find a way to fix the mess her husband and sister created. Friday, 20th March 2026, Episode 52. Ferit confronts Nasi one more time and finally learns the truth. The stolen stones are with the Great Lady, proving she's been pulling the strings all along. In a moment of explosive revelation, Gulgan publicly exposes Betul's affair with Tayfun, laying all the dirty laundry out for everyone to see. With nowhere left to hide and her secrets exposed, Betul is finally forced to leave the mansion for good. Monday, 23rd March 2026, Episode 53. Ferit storms over to the Great Lady, accusing her outright of stealing the family's precious stones, but Halis shuts him down completely, revealing that she has already returned them. Then, in a move that shocks absolutely everyone, Halis announces that he is naming Seyran the new head of the company, passing over Ferit and everyone else and placing all his trust in her. Tuesday, 24th March 2026, Episode 54. The unthinkable happens. Ferit and Suna, in a moment of weakness and confusion, share an unexpected kiss. Seyran catches them, and she immediately confronts Ferit, her heart shattering into a million pieces. Overcome with guilt, Suna asks Abedin for a divorce, unable to live with what she's done. Meanwhile, the desperate Nasi seeks refuge and, in a bid to save himself, exposes all of the Great Lady's wicked schemes to Halis. On Wednesday, 25th of March 2026, Episode 55, Halis swallows his pride and apologizes to Ferit, allowing him to return home and reclaim the mortgage bonds from the Great Lady. But the victory is short-lived. The great lady, furious at being outsmarted, calls on her dangerous son Karam to exact revenge on the Korhans. Poor Kazim finds himself caught directly in the middle, forced to choose between two warring sides. Thursday, 26th March 2026, episode 56. Suna is firm in her decision and refuses to even try reconciling with Abedin, their marriage seemingly over. Halis warns the family to be ready for retaliation from the great lady, but no one is prepared for what happens next. Ifekat is brutally kidnapped and assaulted before being dumped back at the mansion, a terrifying message from their enemies. The family is shaken to its core, faced with a chilling new threat. Friday, 27th March 2026, episode 57. A traumatized Ifekat is back home, but the horror isn't over. The great lady's demand is clear: Suna must be handed over in exchange for their safety. Ferit, raging with fury, storms the great lady's mansion and wounds Karam in a violent confrontation. Tensions at home explode, and Ferit desperately urges Suna to leave and go into hiding before it's too late. Monday, 30th March 2026, episode 58. Ferit manages to convince Suna to flee the mansion for her own safety, all while secretly working on a dangerous plan to confront Karam and the great lady once and for all. But Seyran is no fool. She grows deeply concerned about Ferit's strange behavior and starts to suspect that he is hiding something major from her, something that could put them all at risk. And finally, on Tuesday, 31st March 2026, episode 59, the nightmare becomes a reality. Abedin, in a shocking betrayal, teams up with Karam, and they launch a brutal, all-out attack on the Korhan mansion. The violence is swift and merciless, leaving Ferit, Seyran, and Suna critically injured and bleeding. As sirens wail and they are rushed to the hospital, the entire family is left utterly devastated and reeling, not knowing if their loved ones will survive. And that, my friends, is where we leave things for now. Absolute chaos. Make sure you are subscribed and have hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next recap. Please share this video with all the Soapies lovers, leave a comment with your predictions, and, as always, letting the adverts play really helps the channel. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next video.